Dear students, today we'll see 8th experiment of C programming laboratory. The aim of this experiment is develop a program to introduce 2D, means it is two-dimensional array manipulation, and implement matrix multiplication. So in the previous lecture, while discussing the program for binary search technique, we have introduced the one-dimensional array. So in this experiment we are going to introduce the two-dimensional array. So in that lecture itself, I think I have mentioned about the two-dimensional array. Like in one-dimensional array, the elements will be only in one direction, that is in the form of a horizontal row or a list. But in two-dimensional array, what happens? The elements will grow both in horizontal and the vertical. Means here the elements will be in the form of a table. So that's why here, so after this we have to implement the matrix multiplication. So what is matrix? Matrix is again the collection of rows and columns. So that's why to represent the matrix in C, we have to use the two-dimensional array only. So that's why there is a interlink here. Okay, we have to introduce the two-dimensional array and we have to implement the matrix multiplication. Okay, so let us see how it is done. So we'll see the program now. So this is the program for implementing a 2D array for implementing a matrix multiplication, and you have to ensure the rules of matrix multiplication are checked. Okay, so what is the rule? So I hope you know how the matrix multiplication is performed. So for matrix multiplication, already you know matrix is the arrangement of rows and columns. So every matrix will be having the order. So usually the matrix is order is represented as m bar n, where m indicates the number of rows and n indicates number of columns. For example, if your matrix contains 2 rows and 2 columns, the order will be 2 by 2. If the matrix contains 2 rows and 3 columns, the order will be 2 by 3, and so on. So whenever you multiply the two matrices, I hope you know the procedure. So to multiply the two matrices, let us consider we have the two matrices as A and B. So to multiply the first matrix with second matrix, what you have to do is, during multiplication you have to consider the first row of first matrix and the first column of second matrix. So the first element of first row of first matrix and the first element of first column of second matrix is to be multiplied. So whatever the product you get, so this is to be added to the second element of first row of first matrix and this second element of first column of second matrix. So again these are to be multiplied. Okay, so that's why here the elements you have to consider the first row of first matrix. Try to remember this: first row of first matrix and first column of second matrix. So that's why in short we call this as row by column multiplication. Okay, so this is for the first element. For the second element, what you have to do, you have to consider the first row of first row of first matrix and second column of second matrix. For the third row, third element, you have to do second row of first matrix and first column of second matrix. For the fourth element, second row of second matrix and second column of second row of first matrix and second column of second matrix. So this is an example for the 2 by 2 matrix. So I hope already you might have studied this and you might have solved many problems in your 10+2 or in high schools. So all the way I have to just brush up these things. Okay, so now we'll see how exactly the two-dimensional array can be used and how this matrix multiplication can be implemented. So this is the program for that. So here hash include stdio.h, this is the header file we have to include. So after that we have main function, that is void main, and after that here we have declared the 3 two-dimensional arrays. Okay, so you just consider how exactly a two-dimensional array variable is declared. So we saw that for the one-dimensional array you have to specify the data type, name of the array variable, followed by a size in the pair of square brackets. Only one size will be there because it will grow only in one direction horizontally. You have to consider the number of elements, but here two-dimensional array means it is like a table. So you should know how many rows are there and how many columns are there. So that's why here you have to specify two size values in two separate square brackets after the matrix name. So here we have the first one is int a, after that in square bracket we have 10 and in another square bracket we have 10. So this indicates this a is a two-dimensional array which contains 10 rows and 10 columns. Understood? Similarly, one more variable, that is b. So here also we have 10 and 10, so we call it as b of 10 by 10. So here b is also a matrix, a two-dimensional matrix of 10 rows and 10 columns. Similarly, the c is also a two-dimensional matrix where we have 10 rows and 10 columns. So in this way we declare the three two-dimensional array variables a and b. So why we need to have three? Because we have to multiply the two. So the matrices to be multiplied are read in the matrix A and matrix B, that is array A and array B. So whatever the resultant matrix we get, so that resultant matrix will be stored in this C. So after this we need these variables, that is int m n, because we have to read the order of matrices. So to read the order of first matrix we have the two variables m and n. To read the second matrix order we have p and q, and for loops iteration we need to use I, j and k. Okay. So after this we'll display a message on the screen, that is to read the order. So first we'll display this message with the help of printf, that is enter the order of a first matrix. Okay. We have to read the order. Order means you have to just enter the two integer numbers. You no need to enter the middle cross. Okay. So scanf %d ampersand m and ampersand n. As I told you, the m and n are used to read the order of first matrix. P and q are used to read the order of second matrix. Okay. So whatever the order of first matrix the user enters, so this is read in the two variables m and n. Similarly, whatever the order of second matrix that is entered by the user, it is read in the two variables p and q by using this scanf. Okay. So after this, before we see, we have just read the orders, we have not yet read the elements of the matrix, remember. So before we read the matrices, based on the order itself, we'll come to know whether the matrix multiplication is possible or not. So that's why in the aim itself they have given ensure the rules of multiplication are checked. You have to check whether the matrix multiplication is possible or not. So do you remember the rule for matrix multiplication? So in order to perform the multiplication of two matrices, the rule is the number of columns of first matrix should be equal to the number of rows of second matrix. Remember this. Okay. So here what is the rule? It is the number of columns in the first matrix should be equal to the number of rows in second matrix. So here in our example, in our program, we have taken the number of columns of first matrix is n and number of rows of second matrix is p. So here in order to perform the matrix multiplication, n should be equal to p. If n is not equal to p, the matrix multiplication is not possible. So that is what we have done here. So we'll use this if statement to check whether p is not equal to n. P not equal to n. If p is not equal to n, this condition is true, we'll simply display the message, that is printf matrix multiplication is not possible. That's all. So after this we have the end of this program itself. No need to read the elements, no need to multiply and all, because by this order itself we'll come to know the matrix multiplication is not possible. So that's why if this condition is true, we'll simply display this message. Else means this condition is false. If this condition is false means p is equal to n, matrix multiplication is possible. So here no need to display as matrix multiplication is possible. Okay. So you have to just go on carry out the remaining task. So what is the remaining task? So see, this entire part is present in the else of this if, because if this condition is false, then only the remaining statements will be executed. Remember this. So that's why here you can see the scope of this particular loops also. Okay. So in the else part, what we have to do, we have to read the elements. Okay. So to read the elements, again we have this printf statement, enter elements of first matrix. So whenever this message is displayed on the screen, the user can enter the elements of the first matrix. Okay, so when a user enters the elements of first matrix, we have to read those elements. So to read those elements, we have to, this is similar to the one dimensional array only, but in one dimensional array we use only one index. Here we have to use two index. Okay, because to access the first element we have to write a of 0, but here in order to access an element you have to specify the row number and column number of that element. Try to visualize this in the form of a table. If you want to access the first element, you have to specify the row number of that and column number of that. So obviously the row and column will be 0. So how to represent this? So this can be represented as a of 0 by 0, that is a of in square bracket 0, after that in another square bracket 0. Similarly, if you want to read the second element of the first row, so second element of first row means the index value is 0, and second element means the column number is second column means the index is 1. So here the index values will be a of 0 comma 1. Similarly, to read the third element of the first row, what will be the index value? It is a of 0 by 2 and so on. Okay, so that's why here we need to use the two for loops. One is for rows, another one is for columns, because we have to consider all the m rows and we have to consider all the n columns. Okay, so that's why here we have the nested for loop, that is for loop inside one more for loop. Okay, so the outer for loop is for I equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus. So inside this we have one more for loop, that is for j equal to 0, j less than n, j plus plus. So what is the statement we have? Scanf %d ampersand a of I comma j, that is ij. Okay, you consider this the same thing whatever the example I told. So for I equal to 0 means first it will read the first row. So when I equal to 0, the j value will range from 0 till n minus 1. So when j is equal to n, the condition becomes false. It will go back here, I will be incremented by 1. Now I is equal to 1, the second row. In the second row, again you have to read all the elements. So again for that, once again j will be started from 0 until n minus 1, it will be executed. And this is continued so on until I is equal to m. When I is equal to m, the condition becomes false. It will come out of this particular loop. Okay, so that's what you consider here. In the first iteration, what happens? I is equal to 0. So it enters this for loop. The for loop j is equal to 0. So I is also equal to 0, j is equal to 0. So the first element is read in which variable? A of 0 comma 0, means at the 0th row and 0th column. Okay, so after this what happens? So we are in this particular for loop only. So until this condition is true, only this for loop will be executed. When this condition becomes false, then only it will go to the outer for loop. Hope you know this. Okay, so once the this is executed for j equal to 0, so it will go back to again this for loop. J will be incremented by 1. It will test this condition. If this condition is true, so again it will execute this one. So j is 0, I remains 0 only. J is 0. When j is incremented, j becomes 1. So here it will become scanf %d ampersand a of I remains 0 only, that is a of 0. J has incremented now 1 by 1, so it is 1 now. So it is a of 0 by 1. So a of 0 by 1 means the second element of first row, that is row number is 0, column number is 1. Okay, because the index value starts from 0, 1 means it is second element, 0 means it is the first element. So after that again the j will be incremented. So this time it is going to read in the third element, that is a of 0 comma 2 and so on. So once this completes, again it will come back to this. So I will be incremented now, I becomes 1. Okay, so it will start reading the elements of second matrix, elements of second row. So in the second row again it should read the first element. So for the first element, what will be the index values? So it is a of 1 0, because I is 1 but j will be 0 for the second iteration. So after that j will be incremented, j will become 1. So the second element of second row, that is a of 1 by 1 and so on. So in this way you can read the elements of two-dimensional array. Okay, so in turn we are going to read the elements of first matrix. So the same lines are used to read the elements of second matrix also. Okay, but instead of, because for the first matrix the order is m and n, for the second matrix the order is p and q. The same lines you have to write, just replace m and n with p and q. And here you have read the first matrix in the array variable A, the second matrix you have to read in array variable B. That's all. Okay, so once you read both the matrices first and second, so the next task is you have to perform the matrix multiplication. So to perform the matrix multiplication, it is very easy. Okay, so you should know the order of resultant matrix. So that's why when you multiply the two matrices of order m by n and p by q, the condition is the second that is n should be equal to p. So if n is equal to p, the order of resultant matrix will be m and q, that is m by q. So that's why here the number of rows will be m and number of columns will be q in the resultant matrix. So that's why corresponding to that we have to take two for loops here. So for I equal to 0, I less than m, I plus plus. For j equal to 0, j less than q, j plus plus. Okay, so the resultant matrix is C here. So C of ij equal to 0. So we initially place 0 at the C of ij position. Okay, so after that how the multiplication is performed here? So we have to consider the row and column. So to consider row and column, we take one more for loop here. So that is for k equal to 0, k less than n, k plus plus. Okay, and what is the statement here? It is statement is C of ij is equal to C of ij plus A of ik into B of kj. Okay, you try to remember this. When you just take one example. So we have the 2 by 2 matrices. So the A is also 2 by 2, B is also 2 by 2. So when you multiply the two matrices, okay, so in A, I'll take one example itself here. Just wait for some time. Okay, so here let us consider we have the two matrices, that is 1 and 2 we have. Okay, this is first matrix. So here also we have 1 and 2. Okay, this is first row. Here let us consider we have 2 2, and here let us consider we have 3 3. Okay, so whatever the result we get, I will write here. Okay, so you consider this. Okay, so you consider this as, say, as per our discussion, this is matrix A. Okay, and this is matrix B, and resultant matrix I will write here C. So how the elements will be stored here, how the resultant matrix is calculated. So as I told you, first this element and this element is to be multiplied. Okay, so what is here? 1 into 1, it becomes 1. Okay, so to this what you have to do, again you have to consider the next element of first matrix, first row of first matrix, and the next element of first column of second matrix. So that's what I told you. You have to consider the row and column multiplication. Okay, so here 1 by 1 it is 1, plus you have to consider 2 and 3. So 2 multiplied by 3 it is 6. So you have to write 6 here. Okay, so this is over. So as per this we will get the first element. So after this, to get the second element, what you have to do? So again you have to consider the first row of first matrix, but the second column of second matrix. So here you have to multiply 1 and 2. This becomes 2. 1 into 2 it is 2, plus 2 into 3. 2 3s are, it is 6. Okay, so similarly you have to consider the next value. For this element you have to consider the next row, the second row of first matrix and first column of second matrix. So it is 2 into 1, it is 2, plus 2 into 3, it is 6. Okay, similarly for this element you have to consider second row and second column. The second row is 2 and second column is 2 and 3. Okay, so here 2 into 2 it is 4 plus 2 into 3 it is 6. Okay, so no need to write in this way, you have to just write the values of this. So 1 plus 6 it becomes 7, 2 plus 6 it becomes 8. Okay, so similarly here 2 plus 6 it becomes 8 and here 4 plus 6 it becomes 10. So this is the resultant matrix. But how to represent this? Okay, so each time here when you multiply this and this, you have to consider the a of 0 0 and b of 0 0. But for this we have to consider a of 0 1 and b of 1 0. Okay, similarly for this one what you have to do, you have to consider a of 0 0 and b of 0 1. Okay, plus b of a of 0 1 and b of 1 1. So in this way you have to write a program. So that's why we have the statements in this way, that is c of ij equal to previous value of c of ij, because we have to add the new value to the previous value. When you calculate the 6, this is to be added to 1. So that's why we write here c of ij equal to c of ij plus a of ik into b of kj. You just substitute the values of I and j, you will come to know how we have written this statement. Okay, so when this both I and j these particular loops are executed successfully, so as a result this matrix C will be having the resultant matrix. Okay, so after this what we have to do is we have to just display the three matrices. Okay, so to display the three matrices we have this statement here, that is for printf first matrix is will display the heading. Again to display whatever the lines we have used for the scanf, the same will be used for the printf here, just to display. So for I equal to 0, I less than m I plus plus, for j equal to 0, j less than n j plus plus, printf slash t percentage d a of I comma j. Why slash t? Because we need to have some distance between the two elements. The two elements should be separated whenever it is displayed, and after displaying the elements of one row, the next element should be displayed on the next line. So that's why after completion of this inner for loop, we will execute this one printf slash n, so that in the next iteration whenever it starts executing the next row, it will be displayed on the next line. Okay, so in this way you can display the elements of the matrix. So this is for the first matrix. Again to display the second matrix, the same elements are there. So the order was m by n for the first matrix. For the second matrix the order is p by q, that's all, and the elements are present in matrix B. So similarly the resultant matrix is C, so the order of that is m by q, that is known, and the array is C. The same lines are used. So in this way you can write a C program to implement the matrix multiplication. So hope all of you have understood this, but still if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask me. So now we'll execute this particular program. Okay, so we'll take our example program only. So this is of order 2 by 2, this is of order 2 by 2. Okay, we'll see whether it will get the correct result or not. Okay, so here okay, we'll consider here only. Okay, so it is asking enter the order of first matrix. The order of first matrix is 2 by 2. No need to write any symbol in between, you have to just mention the two numbers. Enter the order of second matrix. The second matrix is also of order 2 by 2. Okay, so here it will check whether the matrix multiplication is possible. If it is not possible, it will display the message as matrix multiplication is not possible. If it is possible, then only it will display the message as enter the elements of first matrix. Okay, so how you have to enter the elements? So you have to enter the elements row by row. So here in the first row we have the elements as 1, 2. Okay, in the second row we have 2, 3. So if you want, you can enter in the form of matrix, else you can enter in the sequence also. So it is read as 1 2 2 2, whatever our example. Similarly you have to enter the elements of second matrix. So as I told you, if you want, you can enter in the form of a matrix here itself. else if you enter sequentially also it will take, but you have to enter the elements row by row. So you have entered the second matrix also, and after this you just see the resultant matrix. Okay, so the resultant matrix here is 5, 6, 9 and 12. Okay, so I think we did some mistake here. So it is 1 into 1, it is 1, plus 2 into 3 it is 6, 6 plus 1 it is 7. Okay, so similarly 1 into 2 it is 2, plus 2 into 3 it is 6, 6 plus 2 it is 8. Similarly 2 into 1 it is 2, plus 2 into 3 it is 6, 2 plus 6 it is 8. Similarly for this you have to consider 2 into 2 4, plus 2 into 3 6, so it is 10. Okay, so in this way you should get the correct result in your particular program. Okay, so I don't know, there will be some mistake here, so let me correct this and I will update the same in your to you in the next video. But you just try to understand the concept, and we'll try to implement this particular 2D array implementation of the matrix multiplication on your own. Hope all of you understood this, and thank you.